You're watching NCAA college baseball on the ACC Network Extra. Well, there was a very good crowd here last night for Game 1, and another big gathering expected tonight for the middle game of this three-game series. Why not? A couple of top 25 teams going at it, the number 8 Louisville Cardinals and the number 22 ranked Florida State Seminoles. And hi, everyone, and welcome once again to ACC Baseball. Jim Couch along with Jody Demling. Jody, last night, a lopsided affair in favor of the Cardinals. Cardinals accomplished one of their goals this weekend with the victory last night. Another one set for tonight.
When the ACC Atlantic Division clinched that for the fourth time in 5 years in the league, they did that last night. And tonight, they can work on that number 1 seed. With a win here tonight, they'd be the number 1 seed in next week's ACC tournament. As we look at the highlights from last night's 14-1 victory, and it was Home Run City, Home Run Derby in the first inning. You saw Logan Wyatt, Alex Pinellas, and then a solo shot from Zach Britton makes it 4-0 in the first inning for the Cardinals.
It was 11-0 after 2 cards, and boy, Reed Detmers was on his game last night.
Yeah, 6 innings, just 4 hits, no runs, and 11 strikeouts as Detmers moved into second all-time in Louisville history in strikeouts in a single season. And then we had a little lightning delay, Jim.
Hour and 24 minutes. You can't play a college game without a delay. Got through that.
And Carter Lohman comes in for a perfect 9th inning. And the Cardinals score the victory in that one. 14 runs, 17 hits, and no errors for Louisville. 1 run, 8 hits, and 2 errors for the Seminoles as Louisville wins 14-1, clinches the Atlantic Division, and we're back here today for Game 2.
All right, Nick Bennett on the mound for the Cardinals, going for, if he can get it tonight, his 20th career win. Here's a little scouting report on Nick.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He does like the quick tempo. He's missed his last 2 starts with a little tightness in his forearm, but I'm told that he is back and ready and excited to get back out there. He is a bulldog. His key is just relax here early tonight and get things going the way he had it going early in the year. This should be a very good challenge for him coming back against this lineup.
Here's the lineup he will face: Salvatore, Albert, and Mendoza, Martin, Nelson, and Flowers. Number 7 hitter is DeSatis, and then Swanson. And in the bottom of the order for the Seminoles is Elijah Cabell. Bennett ready to work. First pitch, a strike. This game is underway.
And Salvatore with 2 of the 8 hits last night for the Seminoles. You will see Bennett is a quick worker. He likes to get the ball and go.
Salvador, the senior shortstop, hitting .322. Game last night, he was 2 for 4, and he rips one fair inside the line at third, all the way down past the bullpen mound and into the corner. Chased out there by Snyder. Into second with a leadoff double is the Florida State shortstop, Mike Salvatore. And a good start for Florida State here in the first. The 19th double of the year for Salvatore. He's tied for 5th in the league in that department.
Yeah, and a great start for Florida State. They went 1-2-3 in the first inning last night against Detmers, but on a 1-1 pitch there, Salvatore with a double.
Batter will be the right fielder, Reese Albert. Lefty matchup here. And behind the plate, calling the balls and strikes, is David Pritchett. His umpiring mates, Craig Barron at first, Josh Miller at second, Barry Chambers at third. Defense plays straight up for the Seminoles right fielder. Tapper off the end of the bat toward the mound. Going to be a tough play for Bennett, and he just does get Albert at first base. He picked that ball up, put it in his glove, and then threw. Thought that might cost him, but he just does get Reese Albert at first. Has the effect, Jody, of a sacrifice bunt.
It really does, and really a great play, or a great throw, I should say, there from Bennett, as you see on the replay here. And you're right, Jim. He gets it, puts it in the glove, and fires, and just gets him there at first base.
Salvatore moves over to third. Florida State a runner 90 feet away with 1 out here in the top of the first. Cardinals will keep their infield back. They'll give up a early inning run for an out here. Drew Mendoza, left-handed hitting third baseman up there.
And it's not really a shift, but they are shading Mendoza Obviously, Justin Levy at second, playing really deep, and Lucas Dunn at shortstop, almost directly behind the second base bag. Vanellis off of the line.
That one is in the air. Second baseman Levy calling for it, circling it, gets it, and that is out number 2. Ball bounces away. Here comes the runner to the plate, and Bennett grabs it, puts on the tag. It's a double play, and the inning is over. Salvatore thought he would catch the Cardinals napping, but Bennett was in the exact position he should be in.
He was, and the ball runs in, and it rolls off of Pinkham right to Bennett for the out.
Here's that last play, Jody. Break it down for us.
Well, Justin Levy does a nice job there, then hesitates a little on the throw. Salvatore wasn't coming in. The ball gets in, and it gets by Zeke Pinkham. It actually hits him in the glove and rolls kind of up over his helmet, and Bennett is right there to back up, and that's what you're supposed to do. You're taught to back up your position, be there where you're supposed to be, and it gets him an out and saves a run there as well.
The Cardinals are trying to jump out early in this game as they did last night. Here's the lineup put forth by Dan McDonnell. Dunn playing shortstop in this game, then Snyder, then Wyatt, Vanellis, Oriente, and Britton in the middle. Campbell, Levy moves over to second base where you spent most of the year, batting 8th. And Zeke Pinkham does the catching and bats 9th. Against the right-hander, C.J. Van Eyck.
C.J. Van Eyck for the Florida State Seminoles. You're going to see 92 to 96 or 97, a high velocity here from him on his fastball. Off-speed pitches. He's got an electric fastball with some late life, and he is one of the better arms that the Cards are going to face this year. 7-3 with 67 and a third innings. If you see the number there, 87 strikeouts, 31 walks. In the games when he has his control, he is nearly unhittable. It's when he doesn't have the control and he loses a little bit of that is when he gets into trouble. So that's one thing for us to watch here tonight against this Cardinal lineup. They came out last night hitting hard.
He was on the ACC All-Freshman team last year, who went 7-0 with a 2.86 ERA. And this year, 7-3, 4.01 earned run average. His last time out against Richmond in a non-conference game, he went 5 shutout innings, struck out 8. He gets Lucas Dunn to lead things off. Dunn playing shortstop in this game after playing second base last night, and Levy moving over to his more familiar this year second base spot. Hard hit. That'll be a base hit in the left for Dunn. Over to cut it off, Cabell. Dunn trying to turn it into a double. The throw is not in time. Boy, it almost looked like Dunn slowed down before he got to second base, but he just does get a hand in there.
Did it not look like he almost slid too early? It was like he went into his slide a little too early, but he gets in there just fine as Lucas Dunn starts off the bottom of the first, just how the top of the first start off, a double to left as we see it here. You see the throw and a great arm there. And Dunn, he went into his slide just a little too early, but he's in there just underneath. And Jake Snyder with an opportunity here in the first inning.
7th double of the year for Lucas Dunn. Cards with a runner in scoring position. Jake Snyder really been swinging a hot bat as of late. Shows bunt. Ball went by the catcher. Over to third goes Dunn. That's a hit by pitch of Snyder. Dunn will be put back to second base. Bit of a delayed reaction there by Jake Snyder and by David Pritchett, the home plate umpire. Mike Martin has not come out of the Seminoles dugout. Here's a look at it. Got him in the back foot. Mike Martin now does emerge from the dugout. He will go to the mound to talk with his infield, including his battery, C.J. Van Eyck, and his catcher, Matthew Nelson. They do not want to have the kind of early part of the game tonight, Jody, like they had last night.
No, last night it was a 4 runs in the first, 7 in the second, 3 home runs in the first inning. First time the Cards have had 3 home runs in the same inning since back in 2008. And they want to guard against anything like that here with 2 on and no out in the bottom of the first. And It's Wyatt and Benellis who both went yard. Benellis twice last night.
The hit batsman of Snyder by Van Eyck, the 6th batter he has hit this year, puts himself in a tough spot. 2 on with nobody out. Does the right-hander Logan Wyatt stepping in there. Wyatt kept his on-base streak going last night. He reached base 5 times, including being hit by a pitch in the 7th his last time up. He's now reached base in 18 straight. Comes into the game hitting .314 with 9 home runs. He's driven in 50.
There's that fastball, 95 on the outside part of the plate. We'll see 95, 96 even. We'll probably settle in around 93, 94, Jim. Lively arm.
Wyatt did walk 1 time last night, giving him 60 on the year. And he continues his pursuit of the all-time single season record for walks by a Cardinal, which is 69.
And I threw that changeup for a strike on the first pitch and then just tried to go back to it there and missed.
And back with it again and missed high.
See, and that's where he gets into his trouble, is with those off-speed pitches when he doesn't throw them for a strike.
Van Eyck 6'1", 205. Misses low for ball 4. Logan Wyatt draws the walk. His on-base streak now reaches 19 straight games, and the Cardinals have them loaded with nobody out for Benellis.
And Van Eyck pitched against Louisville last year in Game 3, the game that Louisville won down in Tallahassee. He didn't start. He came in the 4th inning and pitched 6 innings of 2-hit ball, and he walked, or gave up 1 run, but he walked 3 in that game and also hit a batter. So again, that is a problem they've seen with him, is the walks and the HBPs.
Alex Benellis with a great chance to add to his RBI total, which sits at 50. Thanks to 5 of them last night. A solo homer, a 3-run homer, and in his last plate appearance, a sacrifice fly. He has thrived in these situations this year. Fouls that one away.
First pitch was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, and he comes back with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Both of them elevated a little bit with a little run.
Benellis 327 with runners in scoring position this year. It's a heck of a block right there by Nelson. Saved a run. Nelson started last night, middle of the game when it was out of hand. He left the game, gave way to Foster. Back in there today.
Both those guys did a nice job, though. That's one strength, real strength of this team.
Started to go, held up, did Benellis. 2-2.
This Louisville team likes to run, and that's a tough thing for them to do against Florida State. Both of the starting pitchers so far good with the run, and the 2 catchers both very solid.
Off-speed pitch. Benellis chased the changeup, and that is the first out of the bottom of the first. He got away with a bit of a high changeup that time, Jody.
Yeah, he did. It was probably ball 3, and Benellis chases it. We'll see here on the replay. A little bit high, maybe a little outside.
That off-speed pitch, though, looks so tantalizing when it comes in there.
It totally does. Went from a 97-mile-an-hour fastball to that 82-mile-an-hour changeup.
Here's Danny Oriente, gets his 2nd straight start out in right field. And he comes into the game at 322 with 37 runs batted in. Oriente hitting .545 this year with the bases loaded. There's a changeup and a tap foul. 1-1. We're seeing Van Eyck rely a lot here early on the off-speed pitch. Talked about the prevalence the Cardinals have had this year in scoring in the first inning. They were able to do it last night, and a great opportunity to do it here in the first tonight, and they will, as that pitch came up and in on Oriente with the bases loaded. He's hit by a pitch. Dunn will score, and the Cardinals have taken a 1-0 lead, and Oriente gets the RBI the hard way.
You know, we'll watch on that one. Let's see if did it hit him in the back of the helmet. It looked like almost, Jim. Oriente. Oh, it was the shoulder.
Back of that
back
shoulder.
Of that shoulder. It's a good thing it wasn't one of those 97-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Dunn scores. Snyder now at third. Wyatt out at second. Oriente at first. And Van Eyck has hit a pair of batters here in the first inning, and he gets the DH, Zach Britton. This game now marks the 29th game this year that the Cardinals have scored in the first inning. Just as Van Eyck was ready to work, Britton requests and is granted time. Zach at 294. 3 home runs, 23 runs batted in. 1 for 3 with a home run last night.
Yeah, that home run, a solo shot. His was probably the one of the 4 home runs. It was the third of the first inning. It was probably the one that was wind aided the most. On the replay we saw him. He did a dead sprint like he thought it was going to try to be a double. And once he got to first, he was like, "Oh, okay, I'm good." So then he got into his home run trot.
Big pitch here for Van Eyck. Misses inside.
95 just missed on the inside part of the plate.
Your Florida State here, you had a great chance in the first inning with a runner at third and 1 out, did not score. Now you're really trying to minimize the potential damage here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, and you already have to feel like, I mean, if you can get, if Van Eyck, if you can get Britton here, he's ahead of him 1 and 2, and you've taken care of the part of the order that really hurt you last night in the first inning with Parrish.
Foul ball. Saw that graphic on Dan McDonnell, the head coach of the Cardinals, and we talked last night about the fact that Mike Martin, retiring at the end of this year, has over 2,000 wins, 2021. Dan McDonnell has a great chance to get to number 600 this year, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. 594 and 231 in his 13th season, and just so much success here for the Cards.
Popped him up. Shallow left. Cabell will come on. He'll make the catch. Bluff of a tag, and Cabell does a good job of just getting it back to the infield, which is cut off by the first baseman Swanson. So Britton retired on a fly ball to left, and now if you're Van Eyck, you're thinking, okay, this is a very manageable inning.
There's Mike Martin, 40th season as the head coach. That's not a mistake. 2021 career victories, more than any other coach in any collegiate sport, Jim.
All 39 years prior to this year that he has been the head man at Florida State. He has taken his team to the NCAA tournament and does not expect that streak to end this year. They came into this series with an opportunity to be the ACC's Atlantic Division champion. That went by the wayside last night. Now they're hoping to take 2 out of 3 here. 41 straight years that they have gone to the NCAA, the longest active streak in NCAA history. 0-2. Campbell gets his second straight start in this series in center. Had a big 2-run double in the 7-run second inning last night. Comes in at 281 with 29 runs batted in. Cards looking for the big first inning hit. They produced a run on a bases loaded hit batsman of Oriente. Now trying to get a hit to add to that here. Big breaking ball, strike 3 call, a little backdoor curve froze Campbell, and the Cardinals settle for 1. One complete, 1-0 in favor of the Cardinals over Florida State. How about the ACC teams in the top 25, Jody?
And you look at it, Louisville and Georgia Tech and Louisville there at the top, battling for the #1 spot in the conference tournament. NC State, North Carolina, Miami, and then Florida State there. But again, this is a key week for some of these teams, for Florida State. Obviously, teams are battling for position in the ACC, but if you're a team like Florida State, you know where your RPI is. You're probably pretty set on making it to the tournament, but you need to win some games. You'd hate to blow the opportunity to add a couple games and then not get selected to the NCAA tournament.
Robbie Martin, the DH in this game, as he was last night for Florida State, leads things off here in the top of inning number 2 against Nick Bennett. He, like Reed Detmers last night, when he goes off speed, when he goes breaking ball, he relies heavily on that big curveball.
Yes, he does.
Gets ahead here, 0-2.
Pinkham set up outside there and kind of wasted one a little low.
Martin leads his team in batting average at .345. 4 home runs, 46 runs batted in.
Had the only RBI last night.
That put a run on the board in the 8th inning for Florida State. Turned out to be their only run and helped them avoid being shut out for the 8th time this year. Big curve, and it froze. Martin back to the dugout he goes. Out number 1, strikeout number 1.
Yeah, and there's that curveball from Bennett. You see the pace and the way he likes to work. And then when he gets that curveball and it just freezes Martin. Looks like it's high and inside, and perfect pitch.
Leadoff man taken care of. Here's Matthew Nelson, the freshman catcher. Nelson starts the game at .274. 4 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Young man, 20 years old, out of Largo, Florida. He's been their main man really behind the plate this year. He and the senior Jonathan Foster, the 2 main catchers on this club, but Nelson getting the bulk of the time. Last night he went 0 for 2, then left the game. Foster came in. His last at bat was in the 3rd, and what it did was end his 18-game on-base streak. Looking to start another one tonight.
And there was that big breaking curveball that just missed. That ball starts out way outside and came back, almost caught a little part of the plate. You see the red glove with the yellow laces there from Bennett.
Good off-speed pitch.
I'm interested tonight to see how long we'll see Nick Bennett. He missed the last 2 weeks, a little tightness, a little soreness in his forearm. He's fine. He's out there pitching, but how far will they go with him tonight?
Going to get a second out, it looks like here. Well, that ball carrying pretty well to the wall, and it's gone, a home run. Did not look like it had the distance off the bat, but it carried to straightaway center field for Nelson. He gets his 5th home run of the season. And this game is even 1-1 on a long fly to center field by the freshman Nelson.
Yeah, off the bat, that didn't seem like it, but boy, that ball just kept carrying, and the wind, there is some wind blowing out. And I think he knew he hit it pretty well. You see Nelson there, and Drew Campbell goes back and makes a pretty good effort, but that ball is out of here. Almost dead center.
Boy, the way that Campbell went back for that ball also, it looked like he had a good read on it. But it just kept going and going. And this team that has relied heavily on the home run, Florida State, get their 66th home run of the season. They came into this game 4th in the ACC in long balls. Here's J.C. Flowers. they want the opportunity, talking about the Seminoles, to bring this guy in from center field to pitch, because if he does, that means they're in a closer situation and he is their guy. He has 11 saves, which is tied for #1 in the ACC, along with Carson Spires of Clemson. Flowers hitting .261, 11 home runs, and leads this team with 47 runs batted in. He's a junior who did not pitch in his first 2 years of college ball down here,
which is
pitching this year.
That is an amazing transformation when you don't pitch and then you become one of the saves leaders.
Flowers, as a freshman, was a member of the ACC All-Freshman team. Had a .359 on base percentage. He was actually drafted out of high school by the Reds in the 18th round back in 2016. Missed a good deal of time last year with a broken jaw suffered at the end of March. Now this year, not only is he playing center, but he's closing for this team.
Bennett wanted that one on the inside part of the plate, just a hair inside.
Smash to the shortstop, and that'll go off the glove of Dunn, and Flowers is aboard.
Yeah, there's a play right there that Dunn, his first game at short of this season, just a hard hit ball, but a play that Tyler Fitzgerald makes there at shortstop for Louisville. Is not in the game tonight because of an injury. As you see, Flowers there, a hard hit ball, and kind of gobbles it up.
That'll go down as an infield single for J.C. Flowers, and so he is aboard with 1 man out, 1 man in. Bennett aware that he is one of the few guys on this Florida State team that will steal a base. Flowers, along with Cabell, each have 9 stolen bases as a team. They have 41, bottom third of the league. Andrew DeSatis, switch hitting second baseman, batting from the right side. Hitting .222 with 3 home runs, driven in 24. Last night he was 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts, played half the game, and then he gave way to a substitute. Again, it was 11-0 Cards after 2 last night en route to a 14-1 Louisville victory.
Yeah, a different start, but you had to know. I mean, anybody that knows anything about this Florida State team, and you say Mike Martin or you say 2,000 wins or you just say Florida State Seminoles, you know that they were going to come out tonight with a lot of fire, and they got embarrassed last night. And I know it probably wasn't a pleasant meeting after the game.
We talked last night, Jody, about the fact that in the 39 years that Mike Martin has been the head coach at Florida State, never have they had less than 40 wins, and that record is in jeopardy this year.
34 right now with just 2 regular season games left. All you're guaranteed is 2 in the ACC tournament.
From 3-0 to 3-2.
They would, to get to 40 before an NCAA tournament, they would have to win the 2 games here in this series, win their 2 pool play, and then win the title next week in Durham. That would put them right at 40.
And you're talking about getting there before the NCAA tournament starts.
Bennett thinking that Flowers might be going on the 3-2 pitch.
Flowers 9 of 11 in stolen bases. Doesn't have much of a lead over there. There's a great changeup by Bennett. He has DeSantis chasing that. He came back from 3-0 there and gets the strikeout.
If you go back to the last inning, almost the exact same pitch. Obviously, Benelis is a left-hander, but watch this pitch. It's just away, and he's chasing. Remember, Benelis was higher and away, and he's chasing, but just such a hard time holding off on that, even for good hitters. A very good pitch there from Nick Bennett.
Tantalizing pitch that he couldn't quite get to. It's 2 out for the first baseman, Cooper Swanson.
It looks so perfect, though, Jim. You know, it's like, I'm going to hit that. Oh, maybe I'm not.
Takes a lot of discipline to be able to adjust. And then say yay or nay on that. Is it a strike? Is it not? Is it something I can hit? Swanson at 171. He does have 7 home runs on the year.
By the way, we do have to mention this because it was 91 degrees when I arrived at the ballpark today. What a perfect evening for baseball this is going to be, and a great crowd here tonight in the Ville.
Errant throw on a pickoff at first base. Flowers down to second. He'll turn the corner, head over to third as Wyatt runs that ball down and gets it over to third base. That'll be an error on the throw by Nick Bennett, and the go-ahead run for Florida State now stands 90 feet away.
Yeah, and Bennett, just a not a very good opportunity there. Watch this. He looks awkward. Never had a chance. That ball, Logan Wyatt never had a chance at it.
It was a step off and throw over, and it really sailed on Wyatt over there. Two and one.
No strike.
Cardinals did not commit an error last night. They've been one of the best defensive teams in the league all year. That's only their 45th error. And this is their 55th game.
Yeah, that's what kind of hit them a little bit last week at Virginia when they lost 2 of 3. They had a little streak there where it wasn't so good with defense. They seemingly had tightened things up. And again, that's just a play there where Bennett trying to make something happen and really, you know, that step-off throw is just kind of a little too quick on it.
Wanted that call on the inside corner, did not get it. You can hear the crowd's reaction. They thought it was a strike.
And Pinkham held it there for quite a long time. Here's a look at the pitch. A little bit inside.
So said David Pritchett. So now a 3-2 pitch with a go-ahead run at third and 2 down. Hard on a hop to third. Benelis to Wyatt takes care of Swanson to end the top of the second. The home run ties it. We're 1-1. ESPN and the ACC bring you ACCN. Watch your Cardinals take flight all year long and catch all of the conference action on the new home of the ACC. Visit getaccn.com to learn more. 1-1 game, bottom of inning number 2. Justin Levy started at shortstop last night, back at his more familiar for this year's second base spot tonight, batting 8th. Leads things off.
Yeah, Levy from Kenosha, Wisconsin, 284 on the season. But he's 360 now in league play, and he's tied for 6th among ACC players at batting average in league play and leads his team. What a great turnaround for him this year. As we called him last night, Mr. Versatility. If you need him at third or short, he can play there, and he's been the everyday second baseman most of this year.
Well, that's a big-time jump in numbers from where he is for the entire season versus conference play. And it just seems to tell you that he did something, made some sort of an adjustment once the conference season started, and things have really taken off on a positive note for him.
Yeah, it's a lot of times it goes the opposite way. Guys who are hitting, you know, non-conference is a little bit, you know, typically somewhat maybe weaker opponent early in the season.
from a batting order standpoint, you have a guy that's hitting so well in the conference at the number 8 spot in the lineup. It really gives you a solid offense from top to bottom.
And I'd love to see, I don't know that they break this down. I'd love to see how many of his hits in conference play are to the right side, to right field. So good because they're pitching him out there. They're pitching him away, and he's so good at that.
One of his 2 hits last night went to right center, the other to left. He was on base 4 times last night with a pair of walks. Levy comes in the .355 on base average. Nelson appears to be all right behind the plate. He was talking with David Pritchett, the home plate umpire. Of course, these catchers wired up in the ACC. They can get their pitch calls from the dugout via earplug.
I would imagine Levy, this might be a fastball. A couple of changeups in a row.
Chopper to third, and Mendoza. And the leadoff man gone here at the bottom of the second. It looked like Van Eyck wiped down a sign right before he delivered that pitch.
See Pinkham, who was not in the lineup last night, hitting .322 for the Cards. He's the second of their of the rotating catchers with Henry Davis.
It's a great comparison, really, between these two teams. Both of them have a freshman catcher who they really like, Henry Davis on the Cardinals side, Matthew Nelson on the Florida State side, and then they have a senior, and on the Louisville case, a couple of seniors who are there to guide these guys. And in Pinkham's case, he and Henry Davis split time behind the dish.
They do, and we saw Pat Romero last night. Pinkham did not come in, but he's always, typically the second game of this series is when you see Pinkham start.
Nick Bennett has made 11 starts this year, and Pinkham has caught as the starter in 9 of those.
Here you see the team comparison, the runs, Cards with a few more, and that ERA. Cards lead the league in conference, or they lead the league in ERA and second in team batting average.
And they went up to 298 from a team batting average perspective after the big offensive performance last night. 14 runs, 17 hits. Van Eyck now will deliver a full count pitch to Pinkham. Got it. Throws him with a fastball over the outer third. Strikeout number 3 for C.J. Van Eyck, who came into the game third in the league in strikeouts behind the 2 pitchers who started last night. Detmers 1, Drew Parrish 2, and Van Eyck now 3.
Yeah, that is a pretty good pitch there. 93 on the outside part of the plate.
Hard hit, base hit up the middle for Lucas Dunn, who's 2 for 2 in this game. Pulled the first one, this one straight back up the middle.
It said 99 on the monitor. That was, I'm sure, the exit velocity with a fastball from Van Eyck, and Dunn just pounds it back up the middle. Great job there by Lucas Dunn. 2 for 2 here in the first 2 innings. Remember, the Cards had the bases loaded, blew a little bit of an opportunity there in the first inning.
Jake Snyder hit by a pitch in the back foot his first time. One of 2 Cards that were hit by a Van Eyck delivery in the first.
Ball bounced over there to Swanson. A nice pickup there by Cooper Swanson at first.
Down a big time threat to go. He's one of 5 Cardinals in double figures in stolen bases this year. He's 14 of 16. Interesting, the Cards stole a base last night. It was by Logan Wyatt, it came in the 5th inning with a score 12-0. And we wondered later on in the game when Wyatt was hit by a pitch in the 7th that was a little bit of a retaliation for him stealing in a 12-0 game.
The only stolen base of the evening.
Right. Nothing in 2 to Snyder. His on base streak, having been hit by a pitch in the 1st, has now reached 16 straight. Good comeback in the latter 3rd of the year for Jake.
Snyder with 9 hits in his last 5 games. 3 multi-hit games in the last week.
Trying to move Dunn along. Check swing, appeal denied. 1 and 2. They checked down there with Barry Chambers, the third base umpire. He was the man behind the plate last night.
Here's the replay.
Good side view.
Job by Snyder there.
Thinking that maybe Dunn was going to take off. Florida State pitches out. Nothing shaking. Now, at 2 balls and 2 strikes, does Dan McDonald say, okay?
This is where I think you would if you're going to run. Again, this is a tough team to run on. They're very good against the running game.
Not going. Foul ball. And both catchers do a great job in throwing out runners. Davis came into last night's game the top percentage catcher in the ACC in throwing out base runners, over 50%. Nelson very, very good on his own accord.
Come on, Jay, be a hitter.
Snyder. Foul down there is just past the outreached arms of his pops there. Dad, Eric Snyder, the third base coach.
You never wonder about that from a father's standpoint. Got to believe that Eric Snyder is absolutely loving the fact that he gets to watch his son day in, day out through his college career. And I would bet most of the time that Jake feels the same way with his dad.
Oh, I would, yeah, definitely. His younger brother Noah always in the dugout. You see him pop in and out of the dugout most of the evening, getting foul balls.
Mentioned at the top, good crowd here last night and another big one here tonight.
There you see Eric and Jake in the same shot.
Swing and a miss. Slow curve. Snyder chased it, did not get it. The Cards leave a runner here in the 2nd. Big treat tonight here at the ballpark. The Lady Birds are here. Reminder to be a VIP at the 2019 ACC Baseball Championship. That's May the 21st through the 26th. Enter for your chance to win today at the ACC.com/baseball VIP. Always a big event when the Lady Birds are in attendance. Am I wrong?
No doubt about it. Keeping the crowd lively here tonight for the Cards. A good crowd here at Jim Patterson Stadium. A warm evening.
Cards gunning for it. They can get it. Their 43rd win of the season. They won their 20th conference game last night. It marks 4 times in 5 years in the ACC that they've been able to get to 20 victories. Conference season includes 30 games, and you don't always get to 30 because of rain and weather, but Cardinals won 25 in their first year in the league, 2015. Have an opportunity to get to 22 if they sweep this series this year.
And honestly, pretty amazing that they get all their games in this year, knock on wood. The way they've maneuvered the schedule and made things happen is pretty remarkable.
Leadoff base hit by Cabell. Mike Salvatore, who led off the game with a double down the left field line, stands in there now. He showed bunt, took a half swing, and missed it.
And he's going to chat with the third base coach, maybe trying to make sure the sign is correct.
Mike Martin, the head coach, his son Mike Martin Jr. is a coach on this team. And Tyler Holt is also a coach with this club. He's a former big leaguer, former Cincinnati Reds player. He's a former FSU player years ago. He's a grad assistant. I should say an undergrad assistant coach in his first year with Florida State. That's Tyler Holt coaching down at first base.
Cards have some stretching going down. And again, I'm not sure how long or what to expect from Bennett tonight. He missed 2 weeks, and it's not like you bring back, as you see Tyler Holt there, you bring back and go 110 pitches with Bennett.
He missed 2 starts. So I think it's reasonable to assume, and we don't know for sure, that he would be somewhere in the range of 70 to 80.
I was going to say, yes, I was going to say 65, 75-ish.
The monitor shows us him at 42 right now. Inside corner strike.
Hasn't been his best stuff, but you can, obviously 2 weeks off and a little rust, and he hasn't been bad. I mean, he's been pretty good for the Cards and made a really good play in the first inning to save a run on a backup of home.
Just a show me move there by Bennett to first, keeping Cabell close. He is 9 of 10. He and J.C. Flowers are their 2 main threats in stealing bases. Cards are running the bottom of the first. A bases loaded hit batsman. Florida State are running the second on a home run ball. That off the bat of Matthew Nelson, the freshman catcher, his 5th of the year. Here in the third, a leadoff single by Cabell. Salvatore up there now. Reese Albert waits on deck. Louisville won the opener this series here last night, 14-1. Ripped into left, the base hit again by Salvatore. Over to cut it off is Snyder, hustling on his way to third for Florida State is Cabell, and they have runners at the corners with nobody out.
Yeah, we'll see the replay here, but Bennett, not a great pitch there to Salvatore. Hangs that breaking ball a little bit and pounds it right into left.
Snyder did a good job to get over and cut that ball off, but if you're the runner, Cabell coming around second, that's all you right there. You have to read that and decide what you're going to do, and he got a great read on it, knew he could get into third, and in fact Snyder's throw went to second. Here's Reese Albert. To the right side, is going to give Florida State the lead. A pick and toss underhand by Levy to retire Albert for the first out of the inning. But Cabell scores. Florida State has taken a 2-1 lead, their first lead of this series.
Yeah, and a good job by Levy there of getting the out, kind of a slow roller. Good pitch by Bennett. Cards giving up the run here as we're just in the top of the third.
Batter will be Drew Mendoza.
This is where you have to be careful if you're Bennett Mendoza with 14 home runs on the season.
Big time power hitter, tied for 7th with those 14. Big on base guy, second in the league at .483 in his on base percentage. And he's right there behind Logan Wyatt of the Cards in the walk department. Wyatt came into this game with 60 walks. Mendoza with 59, number 2.
Struck out twice last night and walked once in his 3 plate appearances.
Put a charge into this ball into right center field. That ball is off the wall. That's going to score Salvatore. It's now 3-1 in favor of Florida State. And there goes Mendoza on his way to third, and he is in there with a head-first slide. A 3-base hit for Drew Mendoza. That's his second triple of the year, and Florida State has taken a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, really kind of a misplay from Oriente off of the wall. I think Oriente got a bad break on it. It looked like the ball might carry out of here, and then didn't get to the wall. As you see here, this ball gets away. Oriente not used to being in right field and gets away from him a little bit and allows Mendoza to get over into third.
Mendoza now with 47 runs batted in. Seminoles up by a pair. Here's Robbie Martin, the DH. Lined into right in front of Oriente. That's a run-producing base hit as Mendoza scores. Florida State came into this game averaging just shy of 7 runs a game, and they have 4 so far in this one.
And we have action in the Louisville bullpen with that hit. 7 hits now here given up by Bennett. Just not the Nick Bennett that we were normally used to. And in this inning, he's kind of, the pace has slowed for him. When he's not having the success, and he's just kind of laboring through it a little bit.
Well, he last worked on the 27th of April in the non-conference weekend against Alabama A&M. He missed the next 2 weekends for the Cards. He missed the Notre Dame series, missed the Virginia series with that soreness in his forearm. Back today, he's given up 4 runs, 7 hits, and we're in the top of the third. Down the line at third, and that's a foul ball. Foul ball, according to the third base umpire, Barry Chambers,
who got turned around a little bit there, and it looked like he was going to point fair, and he's like, oh, I'm on the wrong way, and so I'm going to turn the opposite way. Yeah, foul ball just barely, and Benelis diving for it, and you see Barry Chambers. Nope. Oh.
Mike Martin goes out to talk with Barry Chambers about that. Yeah, he came darn close to pointing fair, realized the direction in which he was facing, turned the other way. Mike Martin will come in to the home plate umpire here, David Pritchett, about whether or not he could challenge this call. Here's a look at it again.
And they're not going to do anything. Mike Martin, whatever David Pritchett told him.
Is there replay rules about replay? Fair or foul is a play that can be reviewed. Remember, if that ball goes over the base fair and then hits in foul ground, it's a fair ball.
Here we go again as we look at it. Oof.
It looked like it just was to the right if you're the umpire of the base. I mean, it doesn't get much closer than that.
No, it doesn't. And I'm not sure you can overturn anything like that anyway.
And that's probably the explanation that Mike Martin received from Barry Chambers and David Pritchett. Here's Barry Chambers, the third base umpire. 3 across in this inning for the Seminoles. They've taken a 4-1 lead. Hit hard to left field by Nelson. Looking up, Snyder. Gone. 2-run homer for Matthew Nelson. A multi-home run game for the freshman catcher. Now 6 of them on the year. This has been a 5-run inning, and it is 6-1 in favor of Florida State.
Yeah, and another pitch that Bennett just an elevated pitch there and right in the wheelhouse for Nelson.
Now back to the center fielder, number 8.
Almost been like batting practice here this inning. Jake Snyder knew that ball was gone.
Nelson now 6 home runs, 25 RBIs on the year. He was 0 for 2, a quiet night last night at the plate. Anything but that tonight. A solo shot in the second, a 2-run homer here in the third. And a 6-1 Florida State lead.
And the Cards just trying to get through this inning with Bennett, I think. It's still just 1 out.
He's pushing 60 pitches here. He's not had a 1-2-3 inning, although he did face 3 batters in the first, thanks to that odd play at the plate, which ended the inning. He's fallen behind here 3-0. Roger Williams on your right, Dan McDonald, the head coach, on the left. Three and 1.
Man, our angle is tough to see, but there is action in the bullpen, and I would imagine this could be the last batter. We'll have to wait and see.
From 3-0 to 3-2.
It's Luke Smith, right-hander.
Looks a little different. He had a really long hair the first 3 quarters of this season.
He was really good on Tuesday night at Indiana. Picked up the win.
Ball 4 misses high. First walk given up by Bennett. Down to first base goes J.C. Flowers. 8th man to bat in the inning will be DeSatis. Saw Dan McDonald, the head coach of the Cards, entrenched in his seat in the dugout.
And here he comes. Nope. Maybe not.
Switch hitting second baseman, struck out his first time. Inning started with a base hit by Cabell, followed by a single to left by Salvatore. Albert grounded out, producing a run. Mendoza tripled in a run. Martin singled in a run, and then a 2-run homer by Nelson. And now a ball hit into center that's going to fall in front of Campbell for a base hit. Florida State will bat around here in the third. Cooper Swanson, the first baseman, the 9th man to come to the plate.
The first baseman, number 9, Cooper Swanson.
And that is it for Nick Bennett, because Dan McDonald is coming out.
Well, you wondered what you were going to get out of Nick Bennett tonight based on the fact that he'd missed 2 starts in a row. You hoped it would be good things if you're a Cardinal rooter. Gave up 1 run through the first 2. But really had a tough go of it here in the third.
Yeah, he did, and it's just not obviously the Bennett. We talked about the early in the game. He likes to work fast, and that was going well early in the game. But here in this inning, it just kind of all slowed to a halt. He was missing his spots, a little elevated on some of the pitches, and then he started working slow.
Luke Smith jogs in, new pitcher for the Cards. 6-1 Florida State. We're in the top of the third. Cardinals have made a pitching change. The junior out of Champaign, Illinois, Luke Smith, takes over.
He has started 8 games, but has been back in the bullpen here for about the last 5 appearances. He worked 5 2/3 innings last week against Virginia, 6 hits and gave up 2 runs in that one. And then 2 innings on Tuesday night of 1 hit ball. He walked 1 and struck out 4 against Indiana. You see his numbers: 5-0, 4.38 ERA, 35 strikeouts and 17 walks. Luke Smith has been one of the guys that early in the year they thought they needed a little more from, and you know what? They've gotten it here in the last 3 or 4 weeks.
You mentioned he pitched so well on Tuesday, an extra innings against the Hoosiers, 2 innings to get the victory. He's only made 1 appearance this year. Pardon me, let me correct myself by saying 2 appearances this year in conference play. 1 here against Miami, the other at Virginia last weekend, in which he went 5 2/3 in the second game of the doubleheader on Friday. Allowed 2 runs. He inherits 2 on with 1 out.
Yeah, that was one on Friday last week when he came in. The game was a little bit. Cards had a tough inning, kind of similar to this, and he kept things at bay, and they did not come back to win that game. But he pitched well.
Cooper Swanson grounded out his first time, 9th man to bat in the inning. Smith wanted that call, did not get it from David Pritchett.
Yeah, the strike zone definitely a little more condensed tonight than it was last night with Barry Chambers.
Toward right field, here comes Oriente, and he's going to get there to make the catch. Fires that ball in, cut off by Dunn. Oriente covered a lot of ground, got to that ball, out number 2.
Yeah, nice job there from Oriente. Again, was we've said before in the outfield, the Cards a little out of whack this week. Not a right fielder, but he does a good job there. As you see, Nick Bennett not happy with that outing. 2 1/3, 9 hits, 6 earned runs.
Runners on are his. That number could change. So we wondered how many pitches. 61 is what he throws in only 2 1/3. Here's Elijah Cabell. He led off the inning with a base hit into left field. Cabell is really prone to the strikeout. He has struck out 83 times in 158 at-bats this year. More than 1 every 2 times up.
Struck out once last night, Cabell. Single in his only at-bat this evening.
We'll see a number of relief pitchers now for the Cardinals in this game. We're only in the top of the 3rd. 3 innings out of the pen last night, 1 run allowed.
Yeah, that's the good thing. Look, Louisville, obviously there's a lot of time left in this game for them to make a comeback, but last night was important for them to get Detmers a deep start last night, which is what he got them. They used Glenn Albanese and Carter Lohman, and no disrespect to those guys, but they're not 2 of their top arms out of the bullpen.
Toward 3rd, bobbled momentarily, and then Vanellis was able to grab it, step on the base, get the force out, and a nice job by Luke Smith to put an end to the top of the 3rd.
ACC baseball headlines. 2 teams in the top 10 of the coaches poll. Georgia Tech 6 and Louisville number 8. 6 teams in the top 25. Louisville's win last night clinched the 4th divisional title, the Atlantic Division, 4th time in their 5 years in the league. And the ACC championship begins Tuesday. We know the 12 teams that are now in. Boston College clinched in the 12th spot last night. We just don't know what the order is going to be. We'll find that out as we go on through the weekend.
Cardinals trying to get a win here or tomorrow, or a Georgia Tech loss and wrestle the number 1 seed away from the Yellow Jackets. They came from behind to win in their game last night, 12-7 over Pittsburgh. They trailed midway through that game. Georgia Tech right now at 18-10 in conference play. The Cardinals at 20-8.
And Georgia Tech with a 1-0 lead tonight over Pittsburgh in the third inning. As Pittsburgh and Virginia Tech, the two teams that won't make it into the ACC tournament. Both with single-digit wins this year.
Toward first by Wyatt, handled down there by Swanson. Logan hustles down the line. He is out, and that's the way the bottom of the third gets started against C.J. Van Eyck.
Yeah, and that's the thing against Van Eyck. You know, he's now has a 5-run lead, a little bit like Detmer's last night. I mean, again, this is one of the better arms that Louisville's going to see this season. And when Van Eyck is, when he has his control, he didn't in the first inning, but he has since then. When he has his control, he is really, really good.
Second straight left-hander in this inning is Alex Pinellas. Struck out his first time on a very good changeup just out of the strike zone.
3-game streak of a home run. Can he extend that tonight? There's that off-speed pitch outside away that he struck him out on. It was a little higher in the first inning.
One ball, 2 strikes. Cards are running the first, and a bases loaded hit batsman. Florida State are running the second on a home run. 5 in the third. Backdoor curve misses high. 2-2.
Looked pretty similar to the pitch before, maybe a little bit higher than it was.
Tried the same pitch there, and it missed again.
Three pitches in a row where it's been the same pitch. I think I know what I'm looking for if I'm Alex Pinellas here.
Well, he gets a fastball and fouled it away. That's a foul ball.
Pinellas didn't even move on that one.
Strike 3 call. Pinellas thought he had walked. David Pritchett had other ideas, and for the second time in this game, Pinellas down on strikes, this time looking.
That was a fastball, but same area as we saw before. Let's see it. Oof. That looked low and away a little bit there compared to what the strike zone has been. Earlier in the at-bat, that was a ball, Jim. Exact same spot.
Toward the mound, and Van Eyck shows some good athleticism in making that play, and then flipping it on to first to get the out. Crowd thought he had dropped the ball, and he did, but after the putout was made, the Cards go down in order in the bottom of the third. Good athletic play there by C.J. Van Eyck. Take a look at NCAA softball. Evanston Regional. The Cardinals a winner today over Southern Illinois, 9-5, and they will play Northwestern out of the Big Ten tomorrow.
Yeah, Holly April in her first year with the Louisville softball program, a 9-5 win. They led 4-0. They were behind 5-4, and then Megan Hensley put them up with a home run, and then they tacked on a few more runs.
That game tomorrow is at 2 o'clock against Northwestern as Salvador leads off with a base hit. Mike Salvador, the shortstop, 3 for 3 in this game after having a pair of hits last night. So he's had a nice series.
Yeah, double-digit hits already for Florida State. And we mentioned it last night. Don't wake up the sleeping giant, because these guys have 40 straight years of 40 wins, and when you do that, this is a program that is capable of getting on a roll, and that's what they're trying to do here tonight. And boy, they're off to a good start.
Here's Reese Albert, the right fielder. He's grounded out twice. The last time, producing a run. One of 4 players on this team with a 300-plus average for the Seminoles that plays on an everyday basis. In the air to right field, and Danny Oriente carrying to the track. He'll make the catch. Again, that's another ball that off the bat looked like it was going to be a easy out, and it carried all the way to the warning track and right.
A nice breeze tonight. Really hot and humid. Ball carrying out of here. Oriente with a nice play.
Here's Drew Mendoza, RBI triple his last time. Mendoza, the second of 3 straight lefties for Mike Martin's team. Albert, now Mendoza, Martin on deck, and then the switch hitter, DeSatis, further down in the lineup, who will now turn around and bat left against Luke Smith.
And Mendoza, 14 homers and 47 RBIs, and showing bunt there a little bit. Not sure we'll see that again.
Showing may be the key word.
Yes, exactly.
Number 3 hitter in the lineup with a runner on and 1 out. You would not expect him to lay down a bunt. Big hack that time, and fouls it out of play.
That is a deep foul ball.
These 2 teams, along with the other 10 that have made it, will converge on Durham, North Carolina. Along about on Monday, check in down there and get ready for the 2019 ACC Conference Tournament at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. Beautiful venue.
Top 4 seeds won't play on Tuesday, and the top seed, if it's Louisville or Georgia Tech, will get to pick the day they want off, and the number 2 seed will get to pick one of the 2 days, and the number 2 seed will also get to pick one of the 2 days that they want off.
The 1 seed is pooled with the number 8 and 12. The 2 seed is pooled with 7 and 11. So 2 preliminary games, which will knock things down to 4 teams. Saturday the semifinals, Sunday the final.
And it'll be interesting to see. I mean, because of pitching, starting pitching, I could see where the 1 seed has a tougher road with 8 and 12.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Top 12 teams will qualify, and that's the pool play format. Championship Sunday, next Sunday, noon on ESPN2.
All the games you can catch on ACC Network Extra. Right on that pitch by Smith and fouled straight back.
And the reason I talk about Pool A being a little tougher is Boston College is pretty much a lock to be the 12 seed, and Dan Metzdorf for Boston College is 6-2 in league play and one of the top starting pitchers in the country.
He pitched here on March the 8th. First game of a series against the Cardinals. Metzdorf went 4 2/3 in that game, allowed 1 run, 2 hits. It was a Cardinals 4-0 win. Reed Detmers opposed him in that game. Runner going, swing and a miss. The throw down is not in time, and a stolen base for Salvador, his 5th of the year.
Yeah, not a bad throw. It looked like it was on target from Pinkham, but I think a little short. And made Dunn had to come back, and let's see this on the replay. Pinkham, a perfect throw, but yeah, actually just a little to the shortstop side. And Dunn had to go reach for it. But a big strikeout for Luke Smith of Drew Mendoza.
Runner in scoring position with 2 out for Robbie Martin. RBI single into right his last time. Martin has been their primary DH this year. He's a freshman out of Tampa. Drafted after his senior year in high school by the Miami Marlins, 37th round. Five spot in the top of the 3rd has given Florida State a 6-1 lead in this game. They're trying to even the series. And from a Louisville standpoint, they're trying to deny the Cards a win, which would clinch the #1 seed in the conference tournament starting Tuesday. Of course, it could be a moot point if Pittsburgh can get it done against Georgia Tech later tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned the 5 spot. Louisville with a run in the bottom of the 1st, but had bases loaded, no outs, and Bonella struck out, could only get 1 run in that inning. And you're going to look back on that, and that's an opportunity that they missed on.
A great job of managing that inning by Van Eyck. Got the strike out of Bonella. Then he hit Oriente to force in the run, but he got the shallow fly ball by Britton and the called 3rd strike on a backdoor curve by to Campbell to end the inning. Lead at second by Salvador. 2 men out. Just does stay alive.
Life on that fastball from Luke Smith. 93 on that one. We saw 94.
From your standpoint, I'm going to jinx us again and say a beautiful night tonight here at the park and no threat of rain.
Stop. You know what happened when you said that last night?
We didn't get rain. We had the lightning.
We had rain.
In the air, right center field, Oriente and Campbell come together, and it's Campbell who makes the catch. Martin retired, and the Seminoles finished to the top of the 4th. Stream live sports and award-winning ESPN originals at home or on the go with ESPN Plus. Start your free trial today. Visit watch.espnplus.com for more information. Ladybirds on top of the dugouts, both from the 1st and 3rd base side, entertaining a very good crowd on this Friday night here at Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky. Florida State, on the heels of a 14-1 loss last night, taking it to the Cards tonight, leading 6-1, bottom of the 4th. Here's a look at that very good gathering here tonight.
Fans want a little offense from the Cards, and Zach Britton will try to get it going.
Lifts a high fly ball to right. Albert goes back, looks up. That ball gone into the forest. It goes in right. Zach Britton with a long ball. He hit one last night. He got another one here tonight. And it's a 6-2 game.
Yeah, he got all of that one. That ball, Jim, I'm not sure. I mean, the wind is not really blowing that much, but boy, that ball was poked out of here for Zach Britton. So he puts the football helmet on and walks through. Watch this. Unlike last night when he sprinted to first because he wasn't sure. That one he took a little pose, and that ball into the trees.
Well, he homered in the first game of the year he played against Connecticut down in Lakeland, Florida, against UConn. He homered against Wake Forest on the final day of March, and he hadn't homered again until last night. Now he goes back-to-back games and 4 on the year for the sophomore out of Batesville, Indiana. And it's a 6-2 game now. 6th home run given up by Van Eyck.
One common theme. I've been on the call for all of his home run games.
There you go.
There you go. Nice pitch there from Van Eyck for the 1-2 count to Campbell, who struck out in the first.
5 strikeouts for Van Eyck, 92 now on the year. And again, he started this game 3rd in the league in strikeouts. He's now tied with his teammate from last night for number 2. It's a ground ball here from Campbell to DeSatis. Campbell 0 for 2, and that's the first out in the bottom of the 4th. How about Zach Britton? 2 home runs in this series, 4 now on the year. And really, that was a no-doubter out to right field, just to the right of the big scoreboard. Justin Levy bounced out to third his first time.
Just when I said the strike zone has shrunk, it's now expanded a little bit because that looked like it was a little off the plate.
Rolled over on that one to third. Mendoza with a nice adjustment, and for the second time throws out Justin Levy.
Very nice adjustment there from Mendoza, showing us more than that he's got more than just a bat, as he's made some really good plays in the field in the first 2 games.
So Van Eyck, after giving up the home run, has gotten the next 2. That last one on a ground ball to third and Mendoza. And here's Zeke Pinkham, who took a called third strike his first time. That one right down there to Adam Vrabel, the first base coach. Senior catcher Pinkham. There's Vrabel. To left field. Cabell on the run. He can't get it. That's a fair ball that bounces away. Cabell will chase that ball down. Hatless as he took off there. Hair flying out in left. That'll go down as a double for Zeke Pinkham.
I was just going to mention Zeke Pinkham hitting .318, but it's over. It's right at .350 with 2 outs. He's come up in a lot of those opportunities, a lot of those situations. He took advantage of it right there. That ball is a high fly ball, and it just kind of skips. Boom. Looked like my wedge. Spinning away from the green.
8th double of the year for Pinkham. Lucas Dunn, who's hit the ball hard twice, 2 hits to show for it. Bats for the 3rd time tonight. Dunn up to 321 with his 2 hits here this evening. Leadoff home run in this inning by Zach Britton, his 4th. After 2 ground outs, a double by Pinkham, and now it's done.
Four hits for the Cardinals, 2 doubles, a homer, and a single. So, again, the extra base barrage. A little shorter than last night when they had a couple other home runs, 4 in all.
In the air by Dunn into right center field. That ball's going to get down. That'll produce a run. It's a 6-3 game, and Lucas Dunn 3 for 3 as he comes up with a double here, his 7th of the year.
Lucas Dunn on fire this evening. Last night 2 for 5, and he's now got 2 doubles and a single in the first 4 innings here as the Cards have slashed the lead to 3. Chip away, and that ball, those outfielders both had no shot at that. Actually, nice job by Albert.
Dunn really looks dialed in up there, doesn't he?
He really does. Now here's an opportunity here. I'm not sure if we'll see Dunn go, but the Cards haven't really done a lot on the base paths.
Nice changeup by Van Eyck. Snyder hit by a pitch and has struck out. Well, they get another one here talking about the Cards, and they are really back in business. Trailing now 6-3. Van Eyck gets ahead 2 strikes.
Van Eyck getting close, 75 pitches, getting close to 80 pitches here in the 4th inning. Tough one there to take, wasn't it?
Dipped a little bit low there at the last moment. Snyder stays alive.
Same pitch.
Boy, that's a good eye by Jake Snyder. Those are very close pitches, both of them. Showed the discipline to take them, and he got the reward. 2-2.
Snyder is second on this Louisville team with 30 walks, 31 behind Logan Wyatt.
From 0-2 to 3-2 to Snyder.
I imagine we will see the changeup here. Struck him out on it in the second.
Came with a fastball. New supply of baseballs to our home plate umpire, David Pritchett. Logan Wyatt on deck. Strike 3 call. Bit of a delayed strike call by the home plate umpire, but Snyder is rung up, putting an end to the bottom of the 4th. Cards get a pair and are now down by 3.
That looks yummy. Little ballpark food here at Jim Patterson Stadium. A little cheese on there.
A little Louisville version of a Philly cheesesteak with American cheese.
Is that where you went? I thought you were bringing us both back one.
I tell you what, I wouldn't say no to it.
Cards have cut into the lead. It's 6-3 after 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th. It's up to Luke Smith to keep the lead right there and let the Cards keep trying to chip away. By the way, as we went to break, that was a strike. Just did catch the inside part of the plate, but David Pritchett, it just takes him so long. I'm not sure if he's saying strike and then ringing him up, but it takes a long time for him to pull the trigger.
I would bet that that's the case. He is saying strike, and then signals versus doing it at the same time, making it look like he's delaying.
Right.
But he's not actually doing that. Matthew Nelson, big game thus far. Pair of home runs. Trying to bunt there at 1-1. Here's what he's done tonight. First back in the second inning against Bennett. Tying the score at 1. Then as part of that 5-run third, a blast to left field. Snyder just turned and watched it sail. 2-home run game for the freshman catcher. And a 3 RBI night.
And an E for the fan.
Just high. Yeah, we saw that bounce in and out of the hands of the exuberant Cardinal fan out there in left.
Two for two, 2 home runs, and good night so far. Smith was ahead 1-2, but looked awkward on that delivery.
Hitting. So Nelson on for the 3rd time. He is hit by the Luke Smith delivery.
The center fielder, number 8, J.C.
Like he got him on the top of the hip. Fourth time in 5 innings that Florida State has had their leadoff man on. Here's J.C. Flowers. He's been on twice, a hit and a walk. In case you're just tuning in, Nick Bennett, Cardinal starter, lasted just 2 1/3. Coming back tonight after missing his last 2 starts with some forearm discomfort. He allowed 6 runs, 9 hits, and 2 1/3. Cards led early, 1-0. Florida State 5 spot in the 3rd, gave them a 6-1 lead. Cards came back with 2 in the bottom of the 4th. We play into the 5th now. Florida State leading by 3.
And just to update you, Georgia Tech up 2-0 on Pittsburgh in the bottom of the 4th. Pittsburgh actually doing a good job. They had bases loaded, no outs in the bottom of the 3rd, and only gave up 1 run.
Be interesting if Georgia Tech wins their game today, and if Florida State hangs on and wins here, the #1 seed would come down to the final day of the regular season.
Georgia Tech took 2 of 3 from Louisville in late March here. Smith had 1 and 2 just like he was with Nelson.
Smith came on, retired the first 2 batters he faced, and got out of the jam in the 3rd. 4-batter 4th, but is in danger now of putting the first 2 on here in the 5th. Lead at first by Nelson, held by Wyatt. And we'll see a 3-2 pitch.
A little bit of an overthrow there, I think, from Smith on that one. Almost trying to guide that in there. He was just throwing strikes in the first couple innings he worked, and it was working well.
Nelson stays put as Smith loses Flowers. So he hit Nelson, walks Flowers, 2 on with nobody out. Talking about scores, here's the whole group of them.
Virginia up 1 5-3 at Virginia Tech. Wake Forest and Clemson. There you see 8-1. NC State with a 6-0 lead. Notre Dame, Miami, and Duke nothing. And then you see Georgia Tech 2-0 in the bottom of the fourth there against Pittsburgh in Atlanta.
Now that Virginia wins means they've won the first 2 games of that series. They're trying to be a 500 club in conference play if they can win tomorrow and sweep that against the Hokies. Those two ended up, and it was the only game that was not final last night when we were finished here. The game ended up going 11 innings. Virginia came back to win 8-6. Then they won today earlier 5-3. DeSatis showing bunt, switching around and batting left-handed. Takes ball 1. Cards down 6-3, 5th inning. Third base side of the mound. Barehand pick and throw by Smith. Nicely done. Sacrifice bunt by DeSatis moves the runners along. Smith fielded that cleanly and gets the out at first.
And a nice job by DeSatis, putting it where really no opportunity for the Cards to do anything but go to first. So we'll see what
gives the Seminoles now a chance. Second and third with 1 out. Infield will move in for the Cards as Cooper Swanson is due up. He's going to be lifted, and a pinch hitter, Carter Smith, is going to bat for Swanson.
Smith 1 for 1 last night with a hit when he came in for Mendoza. Actually a double.
Swanson had been 0 for 2 in the game. Remember, he started the game at 171. Smith at 226. Straight left-handed hitter against the right-hander Luke Smith. So Smith against Smith. Second and third, 1 out against a drawn-in Cardinal infield. Ball's behind here.
Yeah, it just looks like a little overthrowing a little this inning. And remember, we had the perfect shot when Dan McDonald went out to talk to Reed Detmers last night, and I talked to him in the postgame about it, and they both said, don't be perfect, just pitch and do your thing. Know what you can do. And I would imagine he would say the same thing to Luke Smith here.
1 ball and 1 strike to the pinch hitter. Florida State trying to get back the runs. The Cardinals put on the board in the bottom of the 4th. Drops a curve in there, 1 and 2.
Mike Martin out of the dugout, talking batter on deck. Telling Smith something there.
Yanked it past the diving Wyatt down the right field line. Pinch hit single for Smith's going to produce a pair for Florida State, and they get him right back here in the top of the 5th. Now up 8-3.
A great job there by Smith. Took what Smith gave him and drove it right down the line.
Florida State takes advantage of a hit batsman and a walk. Move those runners along with a sacrifice bunt. And Smith delivers a pinch hit single. 8-3 Florida State here in the 5th. Here's Elijah Cabell. Time called. Roger Williams, pitching coach of the Cards for the first time in this series, out of the dugout, making his way to the mound. They're moving around down in the Cardinal bullpen area. Going to be action down that way.
And I don't think they were warming up before this, but they are now as they're getting some action going down there.
Zeke Pinkham out there in the conversation as well with Luke Smith and Roger Williams. Roger, of course, came in with Dan McDonald, been here all 13 seasons that Dan has been the head coach.
And Luke Smith not saying a whole lot in that conversation.
Just doing a lot of nodding.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Here's Cabelli, single and hit into a force out at third and ended the 5-run third inning, batting in the 5th. Again, a 5-run lead for the Seminoles. Only one out. Cards play back for the double play. Smith, pretty good lead over there, has not stolen a base this year. Interesting, Cabell does have an over 400 on base average, 407 at the start of the game. And I say that because he has struck out over half the times he's been up. So when he puts it in play, he gets on base. Down here, 2 strikes.
Cards waste one there. Just Bill not going to chase it. Adam Elliott warming up for the Cards.
We see him mostly as a pitcher, although on occasion he'll be out in right field. 2-2.
He's been 2 strikes on every batter this inning. Hit 1, walked 1, gave up a double on 1.
Simply unable to put these hitters away, Jody.
He just cannot do it.
It's what we can get back to what you were talking about. Trying to be too fine instead of just pitching.
Instead of just
get themselves out.
Exactly. I should rephrase the one batter, the status bunted on 1-0 pitch. So again, 2 strikes on 4 batters this inning. He is a 1-2 count, and he hits 1, he walks 1, he gives up a double, and now another walk.
Dan McDonald looks on from the dugout. Smith has walked 2 in this inning and 19 on the year. 49 and a third coming into this game. Salvatore is not showing bunt. This is his routine. He starts there, and until the pitcher goes into the stretch position or the windup, then he pulls the bat back. So it looks like he wants to bunt, but that's not the case. There you go. First pitch swinging, a base hit in the left. 4 hits for Salvador in this game. Runner racing home. He will score sliding, but without a throw. Touching the dish for Florida State is the pinch hitter Smith. Been a 3-run inning, and it is 9-3 in favor of Florida State. But a 4-for-4 game for Mike Salvatore. 6 hits in the series.
Yeah, and I would imagine if Adam Elliott is ready, that might be it.
And waving Smith all the way.
And no throw from Jake Snyder. We are going to have a pitching change.
Out of the dugout comes Dan McDonald. He'll make his second pitching change of this game. On this day, Luke Smith not the answer here in the fifth. Adam Elliott, the lefty, has been throwing in the Cardinal bullpen, and he will become the third pitcher in this game for Louisville. No signal yet. Now the signal has been made. First base umpire Craig Barron signals the pen. And the Cards will make a pitching change here in the fifth. Adam Elliott will jog in from the right field corner. Now Cardinals, top of the fifth inning. New pitcher on for Dan McDonald's club. Their third of the game. Adam Elliott will take over on the mound.
Yeah, Elliott, the Cardinal lefty, the junior from here, Louisville St. Xavier, 2-2 with a 3.28 ERA, 19 appearances. Elliott last year in 2018, 15 appearances. And he did not give up an earned run this year in 19 appearances, 24 2/3 of an inning, 22 hits. He's given up 9 earned runs, 15 walks, and 25 strikeouts. He faced one batter against Indiana on Tuesday night, and he walked that batter in Virginia. 1 1/3 innings on last week, and he got touched up pretty good. That was on the final game, in the final game of the series. 1 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs and 2 walks. And again, for Elliott here tonight, it's about throwing strikes, and he hasn't done that in his last 2 outings.
He gets the lefty Reese Albert with 2 on and 1 out. 3 runs in for Florida State. Albert offers at the first fastball and fouls it back. Luke Smith, 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, a strikeout, 3 runs thus far. Those runners on base leading away, Cabell at second, Salvatore at first, are his responsibility. Now Albert and the home plate umpire talking about something there. They're sure maybe if Albert thought there had been catcher's interference. There's Luke Smith in his partial line.
The 2 walks in the HBP in this inning really come back to haunt him.
Elliott had a stretch from the late part of April to the first week of May where he made 4 or 5 straight appearances, not allowing a run, covering 8 innings. That was over when he appeared in the Virginia game. Cardi on a fastball, Albert 1-2.
The Cards hoping he can get back to that here with a little start of something here in this game.
Hit batsman, a walk and a sacrifice bunt. 2-run single by the pinch hitter Smith. 2 batters later, RBI single to left by Salvatore. 4 for 4 in this game.
That ball way outside. Not sure what the crowd reaction was for.
Breaking ball, down on strikes goes Albert. Elliott comes in, retires the first man he faces. And now deals with Drew Mendoza, another left-handed hitter.
Here you see nice pitch from Elliott. First batter he faces, he gets the strikeout.
Seminoles sent 10 men to the plate in the third. This is the 8th man to bat here in the 5th. Sliding block there by Pinkham.
Louisville has clinched the ACC Atlantic Division, still in doubt the 1 or 2 seed in the conference tournament. And the way it stands right now, that would come down to tomorrow, Jim.
Well, we got half the game to go, but they have a big hill to climb. 1 ball and 1 strike if you're Louisville. Down 9-3 here in the 5th. It's the 3rd time in the 5 years of conference play that the Cards and the Seminoles have met in a series here at Jim Patterson Stadium. Each has won a series. Cardi on that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cards won the initial series here. 2 years ago, Florida State won 2 out of 3. Cards won the first game of this series here last night, 14-1. Hard hit into center field, on the move, and getting there is Campbell to make the catch to put an end to the top of the 5th. A couple of changes for Florida State. Staying in the game after getting the pinch hit 2-run single is Carter Smith. He's at first base, and Alec Sanchez is taken over in right field for Reese Albert. C.J. Van Eyck still back on the mound. There's Smith at first base. Logan Wyatt leads it off in the bottom of the 5th. Cards down again now by 6 at 9-3. And there is Sanchez in right. Sorry, Jody.
Sorry, pitch number 82, and we've got guys that went to the bullpen and they're down there stretching. And Wyatt did not like that pitch.
Van Eyck has had a 1-1-2-3 inning. That was the 3rd. He had a 4-batter inning the 2nd. He had to work hard in the 1st and in the 4th. It looked like Nelson. Not sure what happened there. The bat possibly hit his hand on the backswing. Take a look at that. And on the backswing, it got him on the left arm. David Pritchett, the home plate umpire, walked out to the mound to deliver a new ball just to try to give Matthew Nelson a little bit of time to get his wits about him. Veteran move right there. Ooh. Nelson may have been a little bit too close to the plate there.
Might have been.
2-2 to Wyatt. Logan has walked and grounded out. Backdoor breaking ball gets Van Eyck his 7th strikeout of this game and moves him now into 2nd place in the ACC in strikeouts behind the Cards' Reed Detmers. Well, he's had some success with that pitch, Jody.
He has a great backdoor pitch there for Van Eyck. He struck Benellis out early.
And Snyder to end the 4th.
Campbell and Snyder with the same pitch.
Speaking of, here's Benellis. He has fanned twice in this game. He's 0 for 2 after having a 5 RBI game last night with a pair of home runs. Did he go? He did, according to Barry Chambers. No balls, 2 strikes.
Let's see if he did.
He did.
Yes, he did.
Strike 3. That looked like almost a quick delivery by Van Eyck. And he gets Benellis for the 3rd time on strikes.
The freshman was on his way to another ACC Player of the Week award until he ran into C.J. Van Eyck. 3 strikeouts. He's still got that 3 3 straight games with a home run this week.
Here's Danny Oriente. Hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. Hit one back to the mound. That was that athletic play by Van Eyck. Went way up in the back of the mound, got the ball, spun and threw to first. Cards fans thought that the foot of the first baseman Swanson was off the bag. Not to their liking. Here, a fly ball to center, tracked down by J.C. Flowers. Cards go in order for the second time tonight. ESPN and the ACC bring you ACCN. Watch your Cardinals take flight all year long and catch all of the conference action on the new home of the ACC. Visit getaccn.com to learn more. Coming in August of this year. Highly anticipated ACC Network. Glad you're with us on this Friday night from Jim Patterson Stadium, along with Jody Demling, Jim Kelch from the ballpark. Middle game of this series. Cardinals won last night 14-1. Florida State tonight leading 9-3 in the top of the 6th. Adam Elliott came on, retired the 2 batters he faced in the 5th. Works in the 6th against Robbie Martin, the only Seminole who did not bat in inning number 5. He gets ahead 2-0.
Yeah, the Cards in jeopardy. You mentioned early in this game they scored in the first inning, and they're 22-6 this year when they score first in the first inning.
They need to mount a major comeback in this one if they're to improve that record. And that comeback really starts with shutting down the Seminoles offense. Team that came in 12th in the league in hitting, but 2nd in the league in on-base percentage. 4th in home runs. They've hit a pair, both by the freshman catcher Matthew Nelson. Speaking of, he's on deck.
There he is.
Pair of home runs for him last night. Pair of home runs for Alex Binelas, a freshman on the Cardinals side of things. 67 home runs on the year now for Florida State. Snyder will make the catch of this ball. The leadoff man retired for only the 2nd time in this game in 6 innings by Cardinals pitching against Florida State hitters. 1 out.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about this Louisville pitching staff, and the best ERA in the league going into tonight, and it's been the leadoff batter and the free passes and a couple of HBPs, things that have hurt them. Yeah, the 2 home runs. But if you don't give up the other stuff, who knows what happens? You know, I mean, and like you said, the leadoff batter, putting the leadoff batter on base, it's just been it's started the bad things for Louisville pitchers tonight.
Here is the aforementioned Matthew Nelson. Solo in the 2nd, 2-run shot in the 3rd, hit by a pitch, later came in to score on the Carter Smith pinch hit single in the 5th. To the shortstop. Dunn will throw him out. 2 down.
Louisville without shortstop Tyler Fitzgerald again tonight. We're told he's available, but he is not in the lineup. A hand injury. He was hit in the hand late in the game against Indiana on Tuesday night. Had started 81 straight games at shortstop until last night when he missed.
Lucas Dunn there tonight. Justin Levy was there last night. We talked about that streak ending at 81. Bunt toward the mound. Elliott will get it, but no chance to get the speedy J.C. Flowers down at first base. So he has himself a bunt single, and Flowers has been on 4 times tonight.
Love it. You got speed. You know, if you get one down right, you're probably going to get on base. I don't know why more guys don't do it.
I tell you, that it's a weapon that most guys, or I should say a lot of guys with speed, really don't utilize.
Right.
Flowers did just there, and he's aboard.
We saw Drew Campbell do it for Louisville late in the game on Tuesday night when they were at Indiana and the game was tied. Jake Snyder, I think, did it last Sunday. And I want to see more and more guys that have speed do that.
And I just want to complete that thought about Lucas Dunn. It was Dunn who made his lone start at shortstop prior to tonight last year against Northern Kentucky. Runner going. The throw is late and wide. And now looked like an overslide by Flowers. A tag put on by the second baseman. Levy thought they'd gotten an out call. Levy immediately pointed into the Cardinals dugout, and McDonald wants the umpires to get together. And they're going to take a look at this.
And this is an umpire's, because Dan hasn't come out of the dugout, right? So I would imagine this is an umpire's call.
He did not, but it looked to me like Levy pointed into the dugout. Now, whether Dan signaled to them or not, or the umpire said, hey, let's get together. And here's, again, we talked about this earlier, the replay NCAA baseball rules. A replay can be initiated by a crew chief or a coach's challenge at any point.
Yeah, and I believe this is one from the crew chief. We'll see the replay here.
Here you'll see Levy point into the dugout. We don't know if that was initiated by the head coach of the Cards or the umpires. Here's the slide, the tag. And right there, it looked like he went off the bag, and Levy kept the ball on the body of Flowers.
Yeah, Levy did a nice job with the tag. And he gets that mitt back down on the bag, but it was off of there for quite a bit.
So this is under review. Call on the field was safe at second base. Justin Levy's reaction really leads you to believe that Flowers, when he overslid, that Levy had kept the tag on.
Josh Miller with the call. Craig Barron and Barry Chambers, the two umpires in the looking at the review.
If it's overturned, the inning will be over. If not, it'll be the 10th steal of the year for Flowers.
The call on the field is safe. It has to be indisputable, but it looked pretty indisputable there.
Right here is where he's off the bag, and it does appear, well, you saw a late tag there, but Levy had kept the ball on the body of Flowers. So we wait and see.
And that's the only thing, is that angle good enough? The other angle that we saw, is that good enough to be inconclusive?
Umpire's taking a hard look at this.
Here's a third view. Let's see if the foot stays on the base. It does not. Let's see if the second. The knee is there.
That's the most definitive angle right there. It looked like the tag was applied when Flowers was off the bag. That's a good camera shot right there.
And his foot blocked a little by Levy, though. Is that indisputable?
There's Justin. He thinks that they should overturn this thing. His reaction was 100% definitive. This is a long review, so much so that Adam Elliott's going to take some warm-up pitches.
My only thought is on that third angle, they are probably looking there. They had to be looking at the foot because we zoomed in there. It is Levy's foot. Now watch this. When you go through there, well,
umpires come out and they confirm the call of safe at second base. Just not enough definitive evidence to overturn that.
I think that Levy's foot just in play there, because he's totally off the bag and he's out. But I don't think you can conclusively tell. Right? See, watch his foot. Levy's foot is just a little bit in the way there. So the Cards get unlucky there because he was definitely out.
Well, it goes down as the 10th steal of the year for J.C. Flowers. Second of this game for Florida State.
That's my one thing about replay, Jim. I like it for the game. I think it makes it better. You know, like we've talked about, you create some good call. You know, some calls that are missed, and they're going to miss some that you can correct. But not everybody has every different angle, and that's what's so hard about different things. And like right there, just a little foot in the way, and you just can't tell. Elliott had to wait a long time also between pitches.
And that's the other thing about it. That took a good 5 to 7 minutes to try to determine yay or nay out at second base. DeSantis now, the switch hitter, turns around and bats on the right side again. Two and two.
Right side twice, left side once, back to the right, huh?
The sacrifice bunt executed very nicely in the 5th, moving the runners along. They later scored on a single by Carter Smith, the pinch hit base hit. Flowers leads away at second. Strike 3 call. Dropped it in over the inside corner. DeSantis is rung up, and the top of the 6th comes to a close. You're watching NCAA college baseball on the ACC Network Extra tonight from Jim Patterson Stadium here in Louisville, Kentucky. Middle game of this 3-game series, the final regular season weekend of ACC play. Louisville won last night 14-1. Florida State 9-3 leaders in this game as we progress to the bottom of the 6th inning. C.J. Van Eck get through this frame without giving up another run. He'll get himself a quality start. He has 3 of them this year in 13 starts. He gets Zach Britton to lead it off. Retired the Cardinals in order in the 5th. He should go over 100 pitches in this inning. Hard hit toward left center field. Cabell on the run, and he got there. He got a good jump on that ball out there. Elijah Cabell. He ran it down. Hat stayed on this time.
Yeah, he did. He got a great jump on there, and a nice job for Britton there, going the opposite way from the home run, but Cabell takes one away from him.
Leadoff man retired, and now 5 in a row set down by Van Eck. Here's Drew Campbell. He's 0 for 2. Struck out, grounded out. First base side and a bunt. He's going to beat that out. There you go again.
It's second one this week for Drew Campbell. If you've got the speed and you can do it, I don't understand more guys that won't do it, especially with nobody on base. Try it.
You bunt it to the right side. If you can get it by the pitcher, you're home free.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly what Drew did. He's on with his first hit of the night. And for the Cards, hit number 6.
Justin Levy.
Levy ready to bust out here. He's twice grounded out to third, and Mendoza.
And for the 3rd time, Van Eck. They called that a strike, did they not?
Yes.
Board. Okay, I was going to say the board said a ball. The 3rd time he started him out with a fastball on the outside part of the plate, a little low, but a strike.
Yanks this one foul down the left field line.
Levy had his big streak broken last week. He had reached base in 20 straight games.
Van Eyck closing in on 100 pitches. 2 outs away from a quality start. Only the 1 walk that came back in the first inning to Wyatt. He's hit a pair of batters, given up a home run.
Yeah, and we'll go back to that first inning for Louisville. Bases loaded, no outs, a walk and an HBP, a double, the leadoff double from Dunn. But the Cardinals only get 1 run out of it, and I think that kind of set the tone for the night for the Cardinals against Van Eyck.
2-2 to Levy. Pinkham waits on deck.
He pitched 6 innings last year against the Cards, gave up 2 hits and 1 run, 3 walks. Florida State lost that game.
Pops it into center field. Flowers will make the play. And there are 2 out. Yeah, that was the game that was started by Andrew Pollock last year against Nick Bennett. Bennett in that game went 7 innings, allowed 1 run in that 6-1 Cardinals win. So we saw a bit of a same matchup tonight. And tonight, Van Eyck has come out on top in terms of the pitching line. Here's Pinkham.
Still no action in the bullpen. That was pitch number 100 coming up here. They've got some guys down there. Antonio Velez was stretching a bit earlier.
And it could very well be that it'll start once this inning is over.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. A 9-3 lead. The conference tournament starting on Tuesday. And potentially, because the top 4 seeds won't play on Tuesday, you're thinking Florida State almost assuredly is going to play on Tuesday. I mean, so, you know, how does Mike Martin want to manage the pitch count for CJ here?
Florida State will be somewhere in that 3 to 8 range or so. It's possible if they end up at 8, there's ball 4, that they could be in the same pool with the Cardinals.
Correct.
2-out walk to Pinkham. He joins Campbell on the bases. Only the 2nd walk by Van Eyck in this game. Top of the order, and Lucas Dunn. 3 for 3 tonight for Dunn after getting a pair of hits last night. Up to 326. Cards down by 6 at 9-3. Have been out hit 13-6.
I believe if it would have ended if it ended before tonight's games, Florida State would have been the 6th seed.
So that, if they were to end up there, would put them in Pool C with number 3,
which is North Carolina.
No easy task there.
No, but again, it's all probably could all change. I mean, you know, you're talking about NC State beat Carolina tonight, so now they're beating North Carolina tonight, 10-1. So a lot of it can change.
Chased by Smith, but out of play.
And now there is action in the Florida State bullpen for the first time tonight.
That is the left-hander down there in the bullpen for Jonas Scalaro. Two and two. There's Scalaro.
Pitch number 106, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball that was really, really sharp.
Dunn stays alive, reaching for that one.
Baby shark here at the ballpark. Kyle Greener.
The music maestro and the baseball trivia guru.
YouTube that when you go home tonight.
I'll do that.
You'll thank me or not.
Staying alive again. Look at the glare off the top of the scoreboard right now, the angle of the sun. It actually was on the scoreboard earlier. It's now on the windows of the football stadium. A few moments, it'll be gone. Over the mound. Tough play. Second base. Got him at second base. Heck of a play right there by DeSatis, who went to the third base side of second, grabbed the ball on the ground, lunged for the base, and made the play.
Florida State Seminoles 34-19, RPI 57, 41 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances. They've won the last 4 ACC series, so they're kind of getting things together here. They hang on here. It'll be win number 35 and 17. Their RPI would come up a little bit, Jim. They got some work to do to get in.
Now they've won 3 of the last 4 ACC conference tournaments, so they have a history of being able to rise up and win. They won it as a 4 seed in 15. They won it as an 8 seed 2 years ago. Last year they won it as a 6 seed.
Just quick math, if the league would have ended last night, Florida State would have been the 6th seed with Carolina, Florida State, and it looks like maybe Wake Forest. So a tough pool there.
And they're trying to get to the NCAA tournament for the 42nd consecutive year. The last time that Florida State was not in the NCAA tournament, 1977. You talk about a stalwart of the tournament. Carter Smith took over at first base after pinch hitting with a 2-run single. Bats here in the 7th. His team leading by 6 at 9-3. Dropped it in there, and Elliott gets the strikeout. So Adam Elliott has retired 7 of the 8 batters he has faced. He's come on and done a nice job. 3rd strikeout. Now get Elijah Cabell. 1 for 2 with a walk. And a nice running catch. And then ball hit by Britton to start the 6th inning. Defensively, and now he's at the plate here in the 7th.
I would imagine when we go to the bottom of the 7th, we will have a new pitcher for Florida State. With the 111 pitches, pitch count for CJ.
Jonas Scalaro is the left-hander that was throwing earlier. No one throwing right now down in the bullpen.
It looks like Scalaro is ready to go.
If indeed he is finished, C.J. Van Eyck would have turned in his 4th quality start of the year and will have left this game with his club leading, trying to get even in this series, setting up the rubber game tomorrow. Nick Bennett, Cardinal starter, 2 1/3, 6 runs. Luke Smith, 2 innings, 3 runs. Adam Elliott has retired 6 of the 7 batters he has faced. He's been very good. He'll go full here to Cabell. Finale of this series comes up as a day game tomorrow. It'll start at 1 o'clock. You can see it right here on ACC Network Extra.
Bobby Miller against Connor Grady, a couple of sophomores.
Strike 3 called. He painted the inside part of the plate right there. Elliott gets his 4th strikeout. That was a dandy.
That was a good pitch by Elliott. Nice job by Pinkham setting up right there and making sure that David Pritchett saw that ball painted the corners. The corner. As we see our scores here for Virginia with the victory over Virginia Tech. Clemson up on Wake Forest. NC State over North Carolina. Notre Dame over Boston College, and Duke over Miami, and Georgia Tech 2-0. They're now in the top of the 8th as Connor Thomas has a 1-hitter for Georgia Tech.
How about that nice play out in left field by Snyder? Jake takes a hit away from Salvatore.
Al Greener, taking me out to the ballpark tonight.
The music maestro himself getting them going here.
Thanks, Al. We appreciate it. New pitcher for Florida State. Jonas Scalaro comes in. He is 3-1 with a 4.93 ERA. It's his 23rd appearance. 42 strikeouts, 21 hits for Scalaro. 4 pitches. 85 to 89 on the fastball, changeup, curve, and a slider. He'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the order for the Cards.
He appeared in all 3 conference games against Pittsburgh the first weekend of May, their last conference weekend. They won 2 out of 3 in that series, and he worked in all 3 of those games. Last worked against Richmond on the 10th. And here he is, the left-hander in relief of Van Eyck. Quality start turned in by the sophomore. 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Hit 2 batters, gave up a home run through 111 pitches. He really did exactly the job that Mike Martin and company needed out of him tonight.
No, he totally did. That's exactly what they had to have.
Into right field here by Snyder. And he is retired, and the ball caught by Alex Sanchez out there for out number 1.
Logan Wyatt walked in the first inning. Grounded out, struck out looking. After his big night last night, 3 for 3, 2 runs scored in that home run.
Into left center, and here comes Cabell. Hat goes flying again, and he makes the catch. And there are 2 out. Cardinal offense has really been quiet now since the 4th. Went down in order in the 5th. Left a couple on in the 6th. Had a bunt hit, and the first 2 out here in the 7th. Here's Benelis, who has struck out 3 times tonight.
Yeah, and as you know, as unbelievable as this team has been playing in the last few weeks offensively, tonight just not there for them, and you got to give Van Eck a huge bit of praise for that. And it could have been the opposite way. Again, your bases loaded, no outs in the bottom of the first inning, and you only get 1 run out of it.
That was the big chance the Cardinals had. Jody's mentioned it a couple of times, and it's warranted, because they had an opportunity to get through that inning in much better shape than they ended up being.
Bases loaded, no outs, and you don't get a hit. Manella struck out. Oriente was hit. That scored the run, and then a couple of other outs.
Chasing that 0-2 pitch from Scalaro. Strikeout Pinellas 4 times tonight. The freshman has gone down swinging. Sun setting here at Jim Patterson Stadium in Louisville. Another beautiful sunset. This game into the 8th inning now. 9-3 in favor of Florida State. Inside the ballpark, Cardinals will employ their 4th pitcher of the night, the right-hander Kerry Wright.
Yeah, the big freshman right-hander, 6'4", 235 pounds from Orlando, Florida. He last pitched against Vanderbilt. One batter. He walked that batter. His longest outing of the year, actually. You go all the way back to February 23rd. Actually, the opening weekend, 2 2/3 of an inning against UConn. This is his for Kerry. This is his 10th appearance on the season. His ERA right at 8. That was hurt by a third of an inning against Boston College. He gave up 2 runs, and then a inning against Ole Miss, he gave up 2 runs. So since then, they've been working him in limited innings and trying to get him to kind of come around and get some confidence. And it seems like he's maybe turning the corner a little bit.
Well, he'll follow an excellent performance by Adam Elliott, who went 2 2/3 of no-run, 1-hit baseball. Bunt toward third, that is rolling and is foul. Pinellas waited, and his weight paid off. The ball went foul off the bat of Alex Sanchez, hitting for the first time in the game after taking over in right field.
So are they listening in the dugouts? Because since we started talking about that, we have a bunt single, we have 2 bunt singles and 2 attempts. Snyder tried and then Sanchez tried. They must be listening.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Sanchez batting for the first time. Again, he took over in right field. On the year, he's at 246 with 6 runs batted in. Had it at bat in last night's game, hit into a 7th inning double play. Freshman out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Big opportunity here for Wright. We mentioned it last night in a lopsided game in Card's favor, where Clint Albanese and Carter Lohman got some innings. And again, for Wright here tonight to show the coaches, hey, I'm ready for you to put me in an opportunity.
Sanchez rolled over on that one, and Wyatt takes care of it at first base. Leadoff man gone.
I personally thought at the beginning of the year Wright would be one of the freshmen that we would be talking a lot about at this point of the season. He really hasn't done that. It's been Jack Perkins. We've seen Carter Lohman a little bit, but Perkins has been the main one.
Here's Drew Mendoza. Now you plan to get through the conference tournament and hopefully win it and go on to the NCAA. You have to have a strong bullpen, guys that can bounce back, or have others who really need to step up.
You need guys who, here or there, you're going to have to throw a guy in a mix in an inning here, especially next week. As we talked about, if you don't play on Tuesday, there's a chance you play Wednesday, Thursday, or Thursday or Wednesday, Friday, and then you got Saturday, Sunday if you win. So, yeah, you need all hands on deck.
Play will wrap up tomorrow night in the ACC and around the country in terms of conference play, and then the tournament starts next Tuesday. The ACC down in Durham. Sunday morning, the pairings and the times will come out. Who will play who and in what game? All starts Tuesday at 11 a.m. Game 1 of the tournament. Mendoza tonight 1 for 4. He had an RBI triple back in the third after going 0 for 2 with a walk last night. Player of the week in the conference, the first week of May. Works here against Kerry Wright. 3-2.
This is what did in Luke Smith earlier in the game. Remember in that inning, 4 batters where he started 1 and 2. Lost all 4 batters.
And Wright loses Mendoza.
He was ahead 0-2.
4th walk given up by Cardinal pitching in this game. Florida State has gone down in order just the one time tonight. That was in the 7th against Adam Elliott.
That's 60 walks on the year for Mendoza.
That puts him 1 now behind Logan Wyatt. Robbie Martin 1 for 4 with a run batted in. Wild throw on a pickoff by Wright to first base. That'll send the runner down to second, Mendoza.
Second error of the night for the Cards, both of them on the pitcher and on the pickoff attempt. Nick Bennett let one fly there in the second inning. I'm sorry, the third inning.
Pinkham could not find the ball, and that allows the runner to go to third. So Mendoza reached on a walk, goes to second on a pickoff attempt, and an error by Wright on the throw. And now that one low and inside. Pinkham blocked it, but then couldn't locate the ball. And that sends the runner over to third base.
And that Georgia Tech game is final. Connor Thomas, a 2-hit a complete game shutout for Georgia Tech, 2-0. So Louisville needs a win or a Georgia Tech loss tomorrow to get the 1 seed. So it'll come down, unless Louisville comes back here in this game, will come down to the final day.
Stroked out to right. Oriente had to short hop that ball. Scoring from third is Mendoza, and it is 10-3 in favor of Florida State. Oriente did a great job of keeping that ball in front, and that short hop by him. Martin may have circled the bases.
Yeah, here's a hard hit ball off of the bat.
Second hit, second RBI of the night for Robbie Martin. Here's the freshman catcher, Matthew Nelson. Leadoff man grounded out, then the walk, the error, the wild pitch, and the base hit into right. And now a 1-ball-1-strike count on Nelson. Homered twice, but hit by a pitch. Scored 3 times tonight. He has a busy game. Another sliding block to his right by Pinkham. Cards would love a ground ball here in a double play. Three and one. Ball four. So 2 walks in the inning by Kerry Wright. He came into the game with 11 walks in 9 innings. He walked 2 more here. That'll bring up the speedy J.C. Flowers. But before that, Dan McDonald out of the dugout. He'll make the trip to the mound.
And that'll be all for Kerry Wright.
So 4 batters faced, 3 reached base against Wright. These conference games, there's just not much margin for error for these young pitchers. Action in the bullpen for the Cards in the person of Austin Dickey, junior right-hander out of Jeffersonville, Indiana. No call to the bullpen yet. Here comes David Pritchett, the home plate umpire.
And we will get Austin Dickey in the game here.
And there's the call. So here comes Dickey into the game. He'll be the 5th pitcher used for the Cards. Pitching change here at Jim Patterson Stadium. New pitcher on for the Cardinals. The right-hander Austin Dickey comes into the game.
His 5th appearance of the year, 4 innings. He's allowed 2 hits, struck out 3, and walked 2 for Austin Dickey. Little used player for the Cardinals. The right-hander.
Hasn't appeared since the Alabama A&M series on the 26th of April. He's earned only 4 innings this year for the junior out of New Albany High School. Dan McDonald looks for answers here in the 8th.
6'4", 215 pounds. And it's not like you ever give up on a game, but Dan McDonald, as we see Kerry Wright, who had a tough outing here in this inning, Dan McDonald looking for somebody to get him out and try to get this game, see if they can do something in the bottom of the 8th on offense.
Flowers be a tough guy to double up. They could get that here and get through this inning with just the 1 run being scored against them. Kerry Wright, 1/3 of an inning, 1 hit, 2 walks. Not a good outing at all for the freshman. Flowers been on 4 times tonight. Pair of hits, pair of walks, stole a base, scored a run. After being on twice last night. So he's had a productive series so far here in Louisville. Flowers out of Orange Park, Florida, 6'3", junior. That's that squeaky train going by, Jody.
Yes, it is. We've had a bunch of them this evening.
There's a good look. Hop onto that thing, who knows where you'd end up. Pinkham getting peppered with pitches in the dirt back there from Austin Dickey. Three and two.
That is the competitive nature of this league, though. It always seems to come down in either a division title or the seeding on the last day. It's just so competitive. You never know what's going to happen from one night to the next. And this is a perfect example here. 14-1 last night, 10-3 the opposite way tonight.
That's ball 4 low. Third walk of this inning by Cardinal pitching. 2 by Wright, this one by Dickey. Florida State has them loaded with 1 out. And here is DeSatis. And now the switch hitter will turn around and bat again from the left side. He's been right side, right side, and now left side again. And he pulls this one into right. That's a hit. Martin will score. Nelson will score. Over to third base goes Flowers. 3-run inning, and it's now 12-3.
And Austin Dickey not the answer for Louisville. A walk and a 2-run single. Here's the pitch. Squeaky train and shot into right.
All 3 runs in this inning charged to Kerry Wright, who gives up 3 runs in 1/3 of an inning. 12-3 in favor of Florida State. Carter Smith bats for the 3rd time tonight. 7th man to bat in the inning. 2-run single back in the 5th as a pinch hitter stayed in the game at first base. There's Pinkham again, blocking another one in the dirt. If that was a dirt circle around home plate, he'd be filthy tonight. He really had to work hard back there. .6'4", 215-pounder, Austin Dickey. Gets a swing and a miss and a strikeout of Carter Smith. So between the ground out by Sanchez that started the inning and the strikeout here by Carter Smith, 5 straight had reached, 3 had scored for Florida State.
You know, the one thing for Louisville that Dan McDonald does have going for him in this one for tomorrow, though, Bobby Miller will pitch. And really 5 of the 6 top arms that are available this weekend in the bullpen still there. Shea Smitty, Brian Hoeing, Garrett Schmeltz, Michael McAveen, guys like that are still available that haven't pitched this weekend.
So even if this game comes up on the short end, if you're the Cards, you go in feeling pretty good about tomorrow from a pitching perspective.
Correct. Now for Florida State, depending on how this ends up, I don't think we will see J.C. Flowers tonight, obviously. He is their saves leader. And Chase Haney. So both teams setting up fairly well, but again, the Cards with a lot of depth in that bullpen.
One and two to Cabell.
Kerry Wright's ERA went from 8 to 10.61 in this outing tonight.
Full count to Cabell with runners at first and third and 2 outs. So from first base, DeSatis will be on the move. Wyatt will play behind him down there. He's off and running, and a foul ball keeps Cabell alive. Three across in this inning for Florida State. And a 12-3 Seminoles advantage. And another foul ball. Last night it was a 7-run second inning for the Cardinals that broke things open. Tonight, a 5-run third by Florida State, which put them up 6-1 at the time. They're up 12-3 now. Strike 3 call. Cabell took it. He knew it. Fans for the second time.
ACC NCAA postseason. Look at that success. 94 combined wins. The third most represented conference. 41 straight appearances by Florida State. We've talked about that. Virginia won in 2015. 9 straight years with 2 or more top 8 seeds, and it's looking like that could be the same this year. A dominant conference. The Selection Show on ESPNU Monday, May 27th. May 31st through the June 3rd. All 16 sites on the networks, and it'll be hopefully and most likely one here, Jim.
Yeah, and if they can get past that, a super regional after that. The Cardinals have hosted some great super regionals here over the years at Jim Patterson Stadium. And then the College World Series, of course, in Omaha, Nebraska. Bottom of the 8th inning, back to work goes Jonah Scalaro. And that one clipped the leg, it looked like, of Oriente, who was hit with the bases loaded in the first. And he is hit by a pitch here to start the bottom of the 8th.
The fifth batter that Scalaro has hit this year.
Pinch hitting for the Cardinals, number 24, Cameron Masterman.
Probably might have a pinch hitter, Cameron Masterman.
Masterman will bat for Britton, who had a home run back in the 4th. And a home run last night. Masterman off the bench in the game last night, pinch hit in the 7th, had a triple, later struck out, so he was 1 for 2 in the game last night. He starts this one at .320. He's 8 for 25 this year.
4 of the 8 hits, extra bases.
Swinging bunt toward third, it'll go foul.
Congrats to the Louisville softball team. A 9-5 win over Southern Illinois today in the Evanston Regional. Holly April's first season as the Louisville softball coach. Louisville's first NCAA postseason victory since 2013. Northwestern beat Detroit Mercy, so Louisville will take on Northwestern tomorrow, the number 16 seed.
That starts at 2. The game here is at 1. We'll keep you informed of what's going on with that.
Winner of that regional goes probably to the number 1 team in the country, Oklahoma, for a super regional.
Masterman took a big breaking ball there from Scalaro at 0-2, and he is called out on strikes.
And Ethan Stringer will pinch hit for the Cards.
Stringer will bat for Drew Campbell, who was 1 for 3, had a bunt single his last time. Stringer off the bench to pinch hit. 0 for 1 in the game last night's contest. Hitting .227 with a homer and 8 runs batted in. Out of Covington, Kentucky, up in northern Kentucky. Another good curve there by Scalaro. Cards scored a run in the first, 2 more in the fourth. Nothing since then. That's hung on to by the catcher Nelson. Nothing in 2. Crowd has thinned out somewhat here in the bottom of the 8th. These teams again will go at it tomorrow beginning at 1 o'clock. Regular season finale. Bobby Miller against Connor Grady. Grady has been mostly a relief pitcher this year for Florida State. He'll make his 6th start of the year here tomorrow. Bobby Miller, on the other hand, started the year as the closer on this club. Eventually has gotten back into the role of a starter. ACC All-Freshman team member last year.
He'll make his 9th start tomorrow for the Cards. And really, Miller has been fantastic this season until last week. He had a rough outing last week at Virginia. Coach McDonald.
Hit hard into center field by Stringer, but Flowers is there for out number 2. Stringer made great contact on that ball. Nothing to show for it but an out. Here's Justin Levy.
Cards have hit some balls hard tonight. That's the one good thing about what they've done. Just 6 hits on the evening.
Levy bats with Oriente at first and 2 down. Oriente hit by a pitch to start the inning. He has not budged as Masterman took a called 3rd strike. Stringer lined out into center. Oh for 3 tonight for Justin Levy.
Comes another train in. You can see the lights over there, though. Maybe this one won't be as squeaky.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Busy Friday night here. Bunch of planes.
There it is. Train is coming around the bend.
Good idea there from Levy, but 0 for 3 tonight. Ben Metzinger on deck.
Swung at that ball down and in. Didn't get it. Tag applied to Levy. And Scalaro has a good 8th inning. No rain falling here tonight. 12-3 Florida State in front. They've about hit the Cards 15-6. Darkness is taking over the ballpark here at Jim Patterson Stadium. 9th inning baseball now. A couple of changes for the Cards. Austin Dickey is still in the game on the mound. His new battery mate, Ben Metzinger, takes over behind the dish. And after pinch hitting, Ethan Stringer stays in the game. He's in center field. Mike Salvador robbed of a 5th hit his last time. A sinking liner into left. A nice play out there by Jake Snyder. He's 4 for 5 tonight. Had a pair of hits last night. 6 hits in this series. Alex Sanchez on deck, then Drew Mendoza, top of the order for Florida State here in the ninth.
Three and one. Couple of pitches. Metzinger having to work behind the plate now.
There's the new Cardinals catcher. Borderline strike makes it a full count.
That's a 12-3 ninth inning game strike, right?
It was borderline. Salvatore thought it was ball 4. The senior on this club hangs in there.
Here you see Tyler Fitzgerald with the wrap on his left hand.
A little bit less wrap today than we saw yesterday, though. That's a good sign. There is ball 4. Salvatore on for the 5th time tonight.
Cardinals, Austin Dickey with another walk here for Cardinal pitchers. That is 7 on the night.
Here's Alex Sanchez. Lifts this ball in the air toward left. And Snyder makes the play. Sanchez 0 for 2, first out, 9th inning.
Their baseman, number 22, Drew Mendoza.
Mendoza.
You know, we mentioned, Jody, tomorrow is the final game of the 3-game series, final game of the regular season. Tomorrow here also Senior Day for Cardinal baseball.
Not many seniors on this team.
Just the 4. Zeke Pinkham started the game tonight behind the plate. Pat Romaro, a catcher also. Brian Hoeing and J.D. Munn. 4 seniors that'll be honored here tomorrow prior to the game.
Yeah, and it's always, that Senior Day always, the way this program is with the draft and the juniors, it's going to be the last regular season game for some other guys. Logan Wyatt, Tyler Fitzgerald. Opportunity for a lot of guys to get drafted.
Had Nick Bennett had the kind of junior year that he had as a freshman and a sophomore, you might throw his name out there as well, and you still could.
Still a lot of time now, a couple weeks. Big opportunities with more eyes.
3-0 to Mendoza. And a 4-pitch walk, the second walk of the inning.
And now Mendoza tied with Logan Wyatt atop of the ACC with 61 walks. Coach McDonald doesn't look too happy.
Well, he came into this game with 594 career wins. Doesn't appear he's going to get 595 here tonight, but both he and Roger Williams, I'm sure, distressed about the number of pitches that their guys have had to throw tonight. So many of them out of the strike zone. We talked about strike one. There's the old saying with pitchers, you ask a pitcher, what's your best pitch? And if he answers strike one, then you know he gets it.
Yeah, that was the 194th pitch of the night for the Cardinal pitchers, and just 107 strikes. That is not going to make Roger Williams sleep well tonight. And another one. And it's also for Dickey and for Kerry Wright, it has been an opportunity for some guys for you to come in and throw. And it's been that same pitch, just kind of guiding it in there to where it's in the dirt. It's not getting over the plate.
Hit in the air to left center field. Chased out there. That ball is going to bounce over the wall for a double. Scoring Salvador. Making it 13-3, and Mendoza will end up at second base. Still in all, if you're going to get beat, you'd rather get beat with balls hit like that than walking hitters.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, the 2 home runs early are 2 big hits, but for the most part tonight, it has been the walks and the hit batters and the 2 errors, to be quite honest, because the Bennett error led to a couple of runs.
Pair of walks and a double in this inning for Florida State. They've now amassed 16 hits and are 1 run shy of equaling what the Cardinals put on the board in the game here last night.
And the thing it does is it scares you a little if you're in the Louisville dugout, because 2 years ago you woke up a sleeping giant here in this ballpark the last weekend. They win 2 games against Louisville. The 3rd game was postponed because of rain. And then they win the ACC tournament. They were here in Louisville for like a week and a half.
Playable for Stringer, and he makes the catch. Both runners tag. Been a 2-run inning, and now it's 14-3. Sac fly by Nelson gives him 4 RBIs in the game tonight.
Center fielder, number 8, J.C. Flowers.
Here's J.C. Flowers. He's been on 5 times tonight, 2 hits and 3 walks.
Louisville pitchers with 8 walks, 1 by Bennett, 2 by Smith, 2 by Wright, and 3 by Dickey.
That's a strike. 1-1 to Flowers. Cardinal offense, which produced 14 runs last night, by and large shut down tonight. Only 3 runs through 8. Line to the shortstop, sinking, but caught out there by Dunn. This game will go to the bottom of the 9th. Florida State by 11. Well, they're faithful fans right there, Jody. I know things haven't gone well tonight for the Cards, but they are all in.
Yep. Just like we are, Jim.
Hell yes, right there, baby. Bottom of the 9th inning. Metzinger leads things off. Jonas Scalaro came in and worked a 1-2-3 7th, had a 4-batter 8th. He's been very sharp. Get through this 9th inning. It will be a save for this left-hander. Metzinger, a local fella, batting for the first time tonight. Hitting .313, 5 out of 16.
4 RBIs. They really like his bat. The young kid that has an opportunity here at the end of this season, with Pinkham and Romero both Our seniors, Henry Davis is the catcher, but Dan McDonald loves to use 2 catchers.
Seems like most teams do in college baseball. Florida State no exception. Metzinger had a pinch hit single in the 8th inning last night, scored a run. And he walks on 5 pitches to get the bottom of the 9th started. 3rd walk issued to the Cardinals in this game. Leadoff man aboard. Here's Lucas Dunn.
Now batting the shortstop, number 7, Lucas.
Dunn with 3 of the 6 hits on the night for the Cards.
5 hits now in the series after getting a pair last night.
And honestly, his last at bat, he very easily could have been a hit. It was a great play by the second baseman. That chopper over the second base bag where he went and ran it down and dove on second.
That was DeSatis who made that play, putting an end to the 6th inning.
The fans who are still here did not like David Britzett's call. And they're letting him hear it.
Hard hit ball to the shortstop. They get one there. They get another one there. Double play. DeSatis bounced that ball over to the first baseman. Smith did a nice job of handling it. Florida State turned 3 double plays in the game last night. They get one there, started by Salvatore.
Here we go on the replay. DeSatis. I think if it wasn't 14-3, that's one we'd be waiting around here as they replay that.
2 down for Jake Snyder. A 14-1 Cardinals last night.
Trey Leonard will bat for Jake Snyder.
Okay, so Leonard comes off the bench to bat for Snyder. Trey hitting .280 with a homer. He's driven in 9. One at bat, took a called 3rd strike last night. And he's in the hole, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Leonard strikes out. And Florida State bounces back in the middle game of this series with a decisive victory over the Cardinals, evening this thing at 1 game apiece, setting up the finale of the regular season and the rubber game of this series here tomorrow. The final score tonight, Florida State 14 and the Louisville Cardinals 3.